Shall shed the skin. Yeah, can you read from here? The material world is full of distress.
The material world is full of distress, and both the pious and impious are subject to the goal of everyone alive. It does not care for the pious or impious, the rich or poor. The difference between pious and impious, however, is that pious man thinks of God when he is in this miserable condition. Often, when he is distressed, he will go to church and pray, "Oh my Lord, I am in difficulty, please help me." Although he is praying material necessity, such a man is still to be considered pious because he has come to God in his distress. Similarly, uh, similarly, intelligent, uh, similarly, a poor man, uh, similarly,
A poor man may go to
spiritually
church
intelligent, um,
and pray, My dear Lord, please give me some
my
money.
dear Lord, please give me some money. On the other hand, the inquisitive, mm,
On the other hand, the inquisitive are usually intelligent. They are always researching to understand things. They may
they
ask what
may
is God,
have
and
what
then conduct
scientific
scientific research to find out. They are also considered
because
pious because their research is directed to the proper object. The man in knowledge is called a jnani, one who has understood his constitutional position. Such a jnani may have an impersonal conception of God, but because he is taking shelter of the ultimate, the supreme absolute truth, he is also to be considered pious. These four types of men are called Sukriti, pious because they are all after God. The point is that all of them are looking for shelter of the Lord. That is something which is very wonderful. That's why they are pious. So their reason for their taking shelter may be different. Like the distressed one may want to take shelter of the Lord because he wants to get rid of distress. Same way, inquisitive, he may approach Lord because he has some inclination to do research about who is God and or yeah or yeah in general they're inquisitive. They try to understand things and research about understanding things. So they may also want to have some kind of inquisitiveness. They may also have some inquisitiveness about what is God and all that. What is that? What are these Hare Krishnas and what is God? What they do? There was some kind of inquisitiveness. So they are some of they also come to Krishna. The man in knowledge is called Jnani. So they are the very special souls because they may understand they are not a body and soul, and sometimes such a Jnani may have an impersonal conception of God. Uh, so, but they are still because they are having some good understanding about their uh, considered position as being soul, and they're looking for shelter of God. So they may also come to Krishna. They may also want to take shelter of Krishna. So like that. And one more is told is uh, yeah, desire of wealth. So that is also already in one sense covered in authority because he is poor, he doesn't have wealth, so he wants wealth, he wants some kind of economic development. So he also may come to the Lord. So there are four kinds of people. Those and these people are pious, Sukriti, because they are after God. Because it's not that somebody is poor, somebody is distressed, somebody is inquisitive, or somebody has some understanding about his constitutional position as soul. Still, they may not come to God. Still, they may not come to Krishna sometimes. So they are not having that Sukriti, sufficient Sukriti there. That's why it's, what is that? Chaturvida Bhajantamam Jana Sukritan Arjuna. Those who are Sukritivan, they may come to Krishna. Yeah. Can read further. Nishant Prabhu can read.
तेषां ज्ञानि नित्ययुक्ता एकभक्तिर्विशिष्यते प्रियो हि ज्ञानिनोत्यार्थम् अहं स च मम प्रिया. Uh,
Yeah.
of these, the one who is in full knowledge and who is always engaged in pure devotional service is the best. For I am very dear to him and he is dear to me.
Yeah.
Uh,
So he's glorifying the Jnani, basically the one who is looking for Krishna out of his understanding of his constitutional position as soul servant of God. So he may he may be looking for Krishna that way. So he's in knowledge, right? And of course, this kind of Jnani is a very special Jnani. What he's talking about is Jnani is like the one devotee only in one sense. So he's engaging in devotional service to the Lord, and he doesn't have any other motives. Such a person is very dear to the Lord. So he's very ripe candidate, very ripe, very genuine, and he's not looking for any kind of economic development or removal of distress or something. He's simply coming to engage in devotional service to the Lord. That kind of personality is really very rare, very special. Yes,
Out of the four
continue.
classes of men who approach God, he who is philosophically trying to understand the nature of God, who is trying to become Krishna conscious, Vishishyate, is best qualified.
Yeah,
Indeed,
so there
Krishna.
is no, so they are philosophically trying to understand the nature of God. So they are basically coming for devotional service, not keeping any other motives to come. Yes, Prabhu.
Uh, Indeed, Krishna says that such a person is very dear to him because he has no other business than understanding God. The others are inferior. No one has to pray to God to ask for anything, and he who does so is foolish because he does not know that the all knowing God is within his heart and is well aware when he is in distress or in need of money. The wise man realizes this and does not pray for relief from material miseries. Rather, he prays to glorify God and inform others how great he is. He doesn't pray for his personal interest, for bread, dress, or shelter. The pure devotee, when he is distressed, says, "Dear Lord, this is your kindness. You have put me into distress just to rectify me. I should be put in much greater distress. But out of your mercy, you have minimized this. This is the vision of a pure devotee who is not disturbed."
Yeah, so this kind of personality is very dear to the Lord. So he can see his qualities. So he's not approaching Lord with any kind of agenda. You can see that. So this is he is quite advanced in that sense, right? But those who are looking for some kind of material motives, so they maybe are they are in the lower rung of uh, you know in the devotional realm because they have still motives with them. So that is okay to begin with. But these other categories of people also should eventually come to this standard actually. But this jnani is the beginning is itself is with the understanding to understand God. His approach is like that, and he wants to understand the Lord and uh, he want to serve and please the Lord, attain the absolute truth. This kind of very selfless motives may be there. So that's how he is superior to others. He's more qualified. He's best qualified to say because he's trying to become Krishna conscious. With Prabhupada's grace, we have that opportunity to come to this platform because Prabhupada has given such clear motives. So somebody seriously practices Krishna consciousness by reading Srila Prabhupada books, hearing lectures, hearing under the guidance of the Prabhupada's sincere followers of Srila Prabhupada. Then you can see that they can quickly be situated in this position, in this situation, in this kind of category. They can raise themselves to this platform of being wanting to only practice Krishna consciousness, be able to serve the Lord and understand Him and please Him. So, and also, as Prabhupada mentions here, that this kind of desiring to get something, it's actually out of poor fund of knowledge because they don't understand that Lord is anyway going to help whatever is required for us. We don't have to too much worry about all that. So this kind of understanding is lacking. That's why they're poor fund of knowledge. That's why they may have this kind of approach. Oh Lord, please remove my distress. You know, what is that? सुख संपत्ति घर आवे कष्ट मिटे तन का स्वामी कष्ट मिटे तन का all that to sing. So that is basically they have some desire to get rid of the stress, to get more wealth, all these things. So that is not very uh, that is kind of more of neophyte platform. Yes, but
He who is
okay.
in Krishna consciousness does
Okay,
not pray.
let us ask Zoom user to read.
Yes,
Who is Zoom user?
second para.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Oh, Sri Ram Ramanujam Dasan.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, bro. Your name is so
He who
wonderful.
is
Zoom user looks very modern. Your name is very special.
no, like whenever I join it just gives me that name, bro. I have to change it again, so I just leave it.
Yeah, but if you put your name, then it will, others will be purified because your name is very
Uh,
special.
all right, I'll just change it.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
He who is Krishna consciousness, he who is in Krishna consciousness does not care for material distress, insult, or honor because he is aloof from all these. He knows well that distress, honor, and insult pertain to the body only, pertain to the body only, and that he is not the body. Socrates, for instance, who believed in the immortality of the soul, was condemned to death, and upon being asked how he would like to be buried, he replied, "First of all, you may have to catch me." So one who knows he is not the body is not disturbed, for he knows the soul cannot be caught, tortured, killed, or buried. He who is conversant with the science of Krishna knows perfectly well that he is not the body and that he is part and parcel of Krishna, that his real relationship is with Krishna, and that somehow or other, although he has been put in the material world, he must remain aloof from the three qualities of material nature. He is not concerned with the modes of goodness, passion, or ignorance, but with Krishna. One who understands this is a jnani, a wise man, and he is very much dear to Krishna. A distressed man, when he is put into opulence, may forget God, but a jnani who knows the real position of God will never forget him.
Yeah. So you can see how because of their dint of clear understanding about what is what, because of their knowledge, they can actually they won't care about the distress and insult and honor and everything. So in fact, the previous paragraph also says that how such a devotee, who doesn't have this kind of agenda and he's simply wanting to understand Krishna and please Krishna. So even if some distress comes, they understand, he takes it as a kindness. So it's very pure platform. So and they are when they are grateful that this distress is to rectify, to purify. So gratefully they may accept it. But in fact, but those who are on the Artharthi platform or Artho platform, so they may sometimes even they have a chance to go away if their desired goal is not fulfilled, like removal of distress or getting wealth. Sometimes they may go away. Sometimes there's possibility like that. So, but the Jnani will not. The Jnani will always remain fixed because he's fixed in his understanding about how he is eternal, how he has eternal relationship with the Lord. So he's conversant with the science of Krishna. So that's why for him this kind of upheavals in the material world will not have any disturbance. So it's a very special platform actually. It doesn't have no concern with the modes of goodness, passion, ignorance, etc. like that. Yeah, can our uh, okay. Okay, so Dr. Prabhu can read. There's a class of Gyanis. If you're able to read properly, then you can read. I think you're reading mobile is difficult for you. I think. Yeah, read it.
Uh, from that, there is a class of Gnani
Okay,
called
I will
Kripa.
read. I will read. there is a class of Gyanis called impersonalists who say that because worshipping the impersonal is too difficult. There's a class of Gyanis called impersonalists who say that because worshipping the impersonal is too difficult, a form of God has to be imagined. They are not real Gyanis. They are fools. No one can imagine the form of God. Or God is so great. For God is so great. So you cannot imagine. One may imagine some form, but that is a concoction. It is not the real form. There are those who imagine the form of God, and there are those who deny the form of God. Neither is a Gyani. You understand now? So Krishna is talking about not this kind of Gyanis. The Gyani which here is being mentioned is a devotee only. Because Bahunam Janmananta Jnanamam Prapadete. That Gyani may be different. They may be on different ways, conceptions they may have, but eventually they may understand Krishna is that all in all. But this Gyani knows. He's not like that. He's not imagining. He's not thinking that God is impersonal. Yeah, the devotee. So there are those who imagine the form of God, and there are those who deny the form. Neither is Gyani. Those who imagine the form of God are called iconoclast. When the Hindu Muslim rites in India, some Hindus would go to the Muslim mosque and break statues and images of God. Yeah, some Hindus would go to Muslim mosque, and Muslims would reciprocate in like manner. This way they were both thinking, we have killed the Hindu God and we have killed the Muslim God, etc. Similarly, when Gandhi was leading his resistance movement, many Indians would go to the street and destroy the mailboxes. And this was the thing they were destroying the governmental postal service. People of such mentality are not Gandhis. The religious wars between the Hindus and Muslims and Christians and non-Christians were all conducted on the basis of ignorance. One who in knowledge knows that God is one, he cannot be Muslim, Hindu, or Christian. Yeah. Okay, we will read further. But this gives a very clear understanding that how this Gyani, who is a devotee actually, he has very clear understanding about uh, he being soul, not the body, and he has a relationship with the Lord, and he engages in devotional service with no agendas.
Bro, I
So,
didn't
when,
understand the third para. Can you explain once?
which one?
Third para. Third paragraph.
Yeah,
Like, scroll down, Prabhu.
yeah, just see one thing he says here: such a Gyani may have any but because he thinks that was ultimate supreme, he is also considered to be pious. So in general, actually, what Krishna says about is a devotee who is having, more this kind of personal inclination to attain and take shelter of the Lord. But he's telling Satyajnani may have impersonal control of God, but because he's taking shelter of the ultimate superlative truth, he is also to be considered pious. Because, so yeah, so here Prabhupada says it's kind of included, so some kind of Gyani who may have some impersonal conception. But yeah, but he's more, no, he's able to take shelter of Krishna eventually, and he will rectify his understanding also, and very soon. Uh, yeah, but here, if you see in contrast, Prabhupada is telling there's a class of Gyanis calling person who say because of worshipping impersonal, it's too difficult is a form of God is to imagine all that they say. So, because worshipping the impersonal is too difficult, the form of God is to imagine. And another thing is, and there is another one is telling those who deny the form of God, they just say that God, form of God doesn't exist itself. So both kind of Gyanis are actually not to be included. Prabhupada says here like that. Yeah. One thing becomes clear that this kind Gyani is not averse to the form of God. That's for sure. If he is very averse, he will not come. You know, so he's not so averse. So he is willing to take shelter of the Lord. And in general, as we have seen here, the was talking about the devotee who is inclined to take shelter of the Lord without any motives. So that kind of Gyani is appreciated by the Lord, very dear to the Lord. Is it clear, Nishant bro? Anything else you want to say?
Yes, bro. Actually, imagining the form of God is foolish. How does it make sense? I didn't understand
Yeah,
it, bro.
yeah, because Prabhu, there is no imagination required. Lord's form is already there. uh, So
If we,
yeah, what they think now, they think that, okay, there is
uh,
ultimately no form of the Lord, but because We cannot meditate on something impersonal without form. So you can imagine some form of the Lord. So they will say sometimes, okay, you can have five kinds of, like in some Mayavadis, they have like, five deities, they will say, some Surya, some, you know, I don't know, some five, they have this Ganesha, I think, Surya, Ganesha, something like that. And they will say that you just imagine this, and they are not real eternal form, they say. They say that you just imagine this form and then worship whatever you like. And then that way you will become more and more, you know, elevated, and then you can realize that you are God, something like that. So you will merge in Brahman. So basically, that is a wrong philosophy, because Lord has his own form also. He has Sachidanand Vigraha. The Krishna form is not, you're not imagining. It's already existing. It's eternal form. You're not imagining it. You understand, Prabhu?
If we close our eyes, we'll imagine the form now, Prabhu. Like
No, no,
after
but that's
closing.
no, but that's not called imagination, Prabhu, because just like if I close my eyes, if I think of you, am I imagining your form? Your form is
Oh,
already there. Yeah, imagining means suppose I don't know Nishant, and I imagine Nishant must be like this. Something I imagine. That is imagination. So there is no imagination required when you have a real form.
okay. Yes,
Yeah,
Prabhu. I agree.
yeah. So Krishna has his eternal form. So if you say take the darshan of deity, that is a real form. So now you close your eyes and you have the real form coming in your mind, which you have taken darshan of deity. So that is not imagination. That is a real form. You don't have to imagine that. It's already there. The form is existing. Getting it?
Yes, Prabhu. I get it.
It's not called imagining. It's called envisioning. You can say you envision the form, which is already there. Imagining means you are trying to make some kind of form in your own
Okay.
mind. So
Yes,
that is
Prabhu.
uh, that is wrong, no? Because that is eternal form. You cannot have like temporary imagination about it. Imagination of some kind of form which is temporary. So Mayavadi has a big misconception. They will just take the worship. Actually, their understanding of deity is very different. They will say that it's all material only. No, you have to simply meditate because you cannot meditate without having any kind of form. So just meditate, and by that you will become Lord, you become liberated. So that is a very dangerous philosophy. So they have no real sense of affection for deities. Our conception is not like that. We treat deity as Lord only. It's a real form of the Lord. We serve the deity because not different from the Lord. And we eternally want to remain servant of deity. We never want to become Lord. You getting me?
Yes,
So
Prabhu.
this understanding. So I will stop here. But I request Nishant Prabhu, can you just put this recording in the chat? I mean in the group. I'm putting this what is it, the link. You can put in the group.
Okay. Will you send to me, Prabhu, or should I?
Now only I'll put in the chat.
Okay. Prabhu. Yes. Sure.
Just a minute. Just copy it properly. Yesterday, he copied, but he did not copy properly. It seems. You copy the link. Huh? You press the right and copy link like that. You see. Don't just copy the text. Copy link, then it will come. Copy it, copy link, and then put in the group. Okay, now copy it. Can't hear you.
I've just pasted in the group, Prabhu. I've just sent
Okay.
in the group.
Thank you.